with one hand already tugging at the tape on the side. Mom nodded and smiled. Amber, Ashton, Ansley, and even Austin gathered around and waited with excitement as I wrestled with a box until it was finally open enough for us to see a glittery blue box hiding inside. "It's another box," Amber announced. Once the blue box was completely free, I could see a tiny white envelope attached to it with 3 pieces of flowery printed tape. My name was printed in large purple bubble letters across the top. "It's so cute," my sisters and I squealed. Mom peeked over our shoulders and said, "Aw, yes, it is." "Come on, Lena, open it," Ansley demanded. I pulled the card up close to my chest and paused. With 4 sets of eyes staring at me and Austin nibbling on my kneecaps, it suddenly felt like maybe I should open the note in private where I could concentrate better. Mallory had been such a good friend to me, almost like a big sister. I always took her advice seriously, but I wasn't sure how having to leave the tour so suddenly had affected our friendship. When my grandmother got sick, I knew she understood that it was an emergency, but even though she was sympathetic, I still felt bad. She had done so much to make sure that Mom and I and our entire family were comfortable on the road with her. Everything from our own tour bus to the special snacks and treats at each of the venues we appeared. It all seemed like a waste now. Mom had offered to have me go back once we knew that my grandmother was going to be okay, but Mallory insisted that we stay home and spend time with our family. She'd told me she was really close with her grandmother too, and she understood how scary it could be when they get sick. She even called a few times to pray with us. And when we told her that everything was going to be okay, she cheered, "Thank you, Jesus," on the other end of the phone. There was no doubt that she cared about the family, but I had not heard from her since then. That was at least a month ago. I couldn't help but wonder why she was reaching out now, and not just with a phone call or an email, but with a big package. "Well, Lena, open it," Ansley interrupted my thoughts. I let out a deep breath and opened it. The note card was even smaller than the envelope, and the front and back were covered in Mallory's handwriting. "She writes so pretty," Amber acknowledged. "She writes a lot," Ashton blurted out. We all agreed with both. I stood quietly and read each word on the front side to myself. When I finished, I could feel the curiosity building in each of my sisters, so I read it again, out loud this time, before flipping to the back. "Dear Miss Lena Daniels, hey girl, how is life? Sorry I have not been in touch lately, but things have been busy. I am working on some new music. Can't wait for you to hear it. Well, the tour ended with a great finish. Since you had to leave, we decided just to play a scene from the movie and a little clip from the first interview we did together. That seems like so long ago now. Can you believe how well the movie is doing? Mr. Fenway says he thinks we will be nominated for an award. How crazy would that be? Whenever I think about it, I am so grateful that you sent your tape in to audition, even if you had red goo stuck on your teeth. I just love how you never let your fears stop you from trying something new. Never stop doing that. Doing something, even when we are afraid, is what it means to have courage. Lena Daniels, you are one courageous girl. God has given you something beautiful to share, and I pray you never forget that. Always be willing to tell others about him. I love thinking about how he showed his love for you during the filming of Above the Waters, on tour as you stood on stage in front of thousands of strangers, and at home while you are loving on your grandmother and family. This is only the beginning for you, my friend. I flipped the card over and continued to read. I wanted you to know that I'm still praying for your grandmother, that God would continue to give her strength and help her to stay healthy. I want to meet her one day soon. I also wanted you to know that I miss you so much. I hope this box of goodies makes you smile. I thought carefully about everything I included. I think you will know what they all mean, so I won't explain. There is one thing that I included that I do want to talk to you about. You'll know when you see it. We'll catch up again soon. Love, Mallory.